Hello and welcome to another video in my series of TERA guides for new and returning players. In this one I will talk about how to get your character to level 70 as quickly as possible. The game only really starts when you hit level 70, so knowing how to get there quickly is quite useful. Back when I started playing this game in 2016, leveling a character to 65 took just over 20 hours of playtime. Nowadays you can get to level 65 in less than half that. Even the last 5 levels to 70 don't take that much time anymore in the current patch. I will start by making a new character in this video and show you how I go about adjusting the settings. I will put the timestamps for different parts of the video in the description though, so you can easily skip a part if you want to. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. I've had a few people in my guild ask me how I managed to make my characters actually look good, so I decided to talk about that real quick. Some people try to make a good looking character, but always end up with a potato, so at some point they don't even bother anymore and just go with a preset. Usually when I create a new character, I first choose a preset that I actually like, and then I take my time and go through each and every setting, and for each slider I try to find the setting that makes the character look better than the preset. First I make sure to remember what number the preset was at, so I can always go back to that one in case I can't come up with anything better. Next I look at both extremes to see exactly which parts I'm influencing with the slider, and then I decide which way I should adjust the slider to make it look better. It always helps to zoom in and out and rotate the character around, as it makes it easier for you to notice if you overdid it with one setting. If you keep looking at the same settings for too long, your eyes will get used to the more extreme values. For example, if you make the mouth really big and you spend like 5 minutes trying to fine-tune the mouth, but you stay at larger values, then you could end up making the mouth bigger than you would otherwise, and a week later you might not like it anymore. Looking at your character from different angles and distances helps reset your eyes though. Once you finished adjusting all the settings, you should look at it from different angles and distances again and see if there's anything specific you don't like. Maybe you put the eyes a bit too low or the nose is too small. Then you go back and adjust the settings slightly to compensate. As you can see, making a character look good takes some time and effort, but assuming you plan on playing it for a long time, it's definitely worth it. Now that your character looks nice, it's time to start grinding. Getting through the first dozen levels is straightforward, as your options are very limited. The only thing you can really do is complete the story quests until you reach the city called Velika. After that, you're a bit more free in deciding what you want to do, however I suggest that you keep doing the story quests until you reach level 20. At level 20 you will then unlock the first dungeon. Dungeons are by far the best way to level up, so as soon as you reach level 20, you should keep spamming dungeons. Most of them used to be for 5 players, but nowadays all the low level dungeons are for 3 players only, and you don't need a healer or tank anymore. You could try to solo the dungeons, but you will get less loot and more importantly less experience points, so it's better to complete the dungeons together with other people. The best way to find a party at low levels is to use instance matching. Matching doesn't take very long anymore because you don't need to wait for a tank or a healer. It also has the advantage that you don't have to teleport to the dungeon's entrance. Once the algorithm found a party for you, you will get a window that lets you enter the dungeon from anywhere, and once you're done with the dungeon, you just leave the party and you will automatically be teleported back to where you were before you entered the dungeon. Do not leave the party before you completed the last boss though, as this will give you a dropout status, which means you won't be able to use matching for 15 minutes of playtime. Basically, as soon as you completed the Vanguard request, you can leave the party without getting dropout. If you play at a time when there are not too many people online, you might still have to wait a while for a match. In that case, you can do some of the story quests or open world Vanguard requests. Story quests usually lag behind because they take way longer to complete than it takes you to level up through dungeons, so before you start story quests, you can check the quest log to see how much experience it will give you. The standard keyboard shortcut for the quest log is L. Once it's open, you just click on the story quest and look at the rewards it will give you. It will show the amount of experience points as well. For Vanguard requests, you just open the Vanguard window by pressing H, check the solo box on top, and then you should see the quests and the rewards you get for completing them, including the amount of experience points. It will also show a teleport button, which you can use to get to the location for free. You can see how many experience points you still need for your next level up by hovering your mouse over the thin bar at the bottom of your screen. There is also the battleground called Kuma's Royale. This one gives a nice amount of experience as well if you win, however, there is an achievement for this battleground where you have to win a certain amount of times. I'm not sure if it's still the case, but there used to be a bug with this one. If you won a match at lower levels, you would have to complete the achievement before reaching level 65, else you would not be able to complete it. Some of my characters had 1 or 2 wins below the level 65, and if I won a match at level 65, it would not progress the achievement count anymore. I haven't tried since the level cap was raised though, so this may have changed. If you don't care about the achievement, then you can also run Kuma's Royale for leveling either way. Below the level of 65, you will get better gear in each new dungeon. You will also get tokens to buy more of that gear. Make sure you keep replacing your gear with the battle one each time. Typically, you'll be able to replace your whole set every 2 or 3 runs. You can also get the glyphs from some of the gear tokens. Once you have all the gear and glyphs you can get with a certain type of gear tokens, you can sell the rest of these tokens to a merchant. Until you reach level 65, there is no need to enchant any gear since you will be replacing it constantly. In fact, you can just sell the materials for upgrading low level gear to a merchant, and use the gold you get for upgrading your skills and expand your inventory space. You should also clear out your inventory after 1 or 2 runs each time, to avoid entering a dungeon and not having any space for new loot. Once you reach level 65, you will get the story questline called the 2 Banquets. I keep talking about this questline in my videos, but it's really important to complete it. In fact, you should complete all the story quests that have purple icons. The questline The 2 Banquets gives a nice amount of experience, but even more importantly, you will get the level 65 gear, which is significantly better than anything you had at lower levels. So make sure to equip that one as soon as you get it. Do not try to continue the questline with your low level gear, or you will have a bad time. By completing the series of quests, you will also get Apex skills and a few additional glyph points. You should at least complete the story quest to the point where you have the Apex skills before you think about running any level 65 dungeons. These skills boost your character substantially, and you should get used to the new skills as soon as possible. Once you have the Apex skills, you can queue the dungeon called Macellarius Catacombs. It is the only dungeon that gives you Essence of Nexus 2 potions, which makes it the most efficient way to gain experience after level 65. You will get 4 of these potions, which will give you a total of 1 billion additional experience points. Make sure you also keep working on the story quests though. The questline I mentioned earlier will unlock another questline called The Nightmare Begins, which also gives a nice amount of experience, and will unlock the last part, which is the Exodus questline. This series of story quests will also drop a lot of skill advancement scrolls. Upgrading skill advancements gets quite expensive quickly, but it's worth gathering the points already, even if you only spend them after you've been level 70 for a while already. Keep using the scout gear you got at level 65 until you're level 69, at which point you should replace it with either Annihilation or Dark Light gear, depending on your class. Then start running Red Refuge and RK9 to get feedstock for enchanting your new gear. Make sure you still keep the scout gear though, as you can dismantle it for feedstock later on. Check out my gear guide for more information about the gear system and which gear you should be using. There are a few ways you can use to increase the amount of experience you get. As far as I know, you will get an XP boosting potion from a body up code. If you don't know any people who play TERA already, you can usually ask for a body up code in global chat or ask on the forum. If you ask people outside the game though, make sure you mention which version of TERA you play. Body up codes for En masse TERA won't work on Gameforge TERA, for example. If you look at the thin bar at the bottom of your screen, as I mentioned earlier in this video, you will also see that your character has a rested experience. As long as rested experience is not drained, you get double experience points from monster kills. The rested experience regenerates while you're offline, but only if you logged out inside a city or a town. The small camps you find throughout the world do not count. If you have elite status, you will get increased amounts of experience anyway, but you will also get a free XP boosting potion every day. Make sure you use that one if you have elite status. Sometimes there are leveling events as well. This is usually the case when there is a new class or when they unlock a class for a certain race. In En masse TERA, the Rewards Emporium also gives a constant experience boost for killing mobs. Obviously, this only works if you're a returning player though, as you already need a certain Emporium level for this to work. We're almost at the end of this video, so I would like to take a moment to summarize the information I gave here. So for fast leveling, do the story quests until you reach level 20, then spam dungeons until level 65. Start the priority quests at level 65 and spam Mercilarius Catacombs until you reach level 69. From 69 on, run Red Refuge and Arcanine to gather enchanting materials for your level 69 gear, and always log out inside a town or city. Well, this concludes part 6 of my series of guides for new and returning players. With this information you should now be able to level up your character relatively quickly. If you can think of another method for gaining a lot of experience in a short time, leave it in the comments below. Feel free to ask questions if you have any, leave a like if this video was helpful, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!